Not as smooth as I wanted that to be. Welcome to Consider This Hit. I am your host, as always, Coltrane. And at this point, I would normally be introducing Shelly, but she took off. Here she comes. Run, 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 run. There she is. Introduce yourself.
I'm in the waiting room.
Oh, whoops. Guess it helps when I bring
Hello.
you. And all the way out there in New York, we have the goddess herself. It is Loco.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hi.
And actually on time, for the first time ever in the history of our show, I believe, we have JJ.
Hey, y'all. I am on time.
You were almost late again, weren't you?
A little bit.
Yeah, I saw that pattern behind you, and it was there was nobody in front of it for a long time.
I had to go change because this pattern behind me, I had on a pattern dress, and it was just too much. I was like, oh, no, I can't do that. So I had to go change my clothes.
Jesus Christ. I just want to remind you. Hush. just want to remind you and everybody else that we are streaming live on YouTube. We are also streaming live on pretty much all of our Facebook accounts, stutter stammer. And I believe Michelle's LinkedIn account, believe it or not. So hopefully we'll get some eyes. I know there were some people that promised they'd be on, but if they don't, well, then that ends that friendship. I'm just playing.
Friendship terminated.
Yep. So anyway, as I've advertised, we have a special guest. But first of all, let's take a look at, he doesn't even know this is happening. We're going to take a look at some of his work in the past year.
We're in the shower. He was holding the towel, covered the monitor.
Let Scooby out, and he darts to the left as hard as he can go. And now remember, this building is fucking monstrous. And there's a little side gate that you can go in at the end of his building. Because I'm wanting to get a poll here. Do we not have anybody in the comment chat room? No one?
Yeah, there were two, and then all of a sudden they bounced.
Oh, they heard I was coming. Yeah, well, we gave them the warning.
Shit, that's the heat.
So, well, you know, I'm a big draw everywhere I go, you know. So, there's a gate back there, and I put up little motion sensor lights all over the side of this building to make sure that if you're walking through at night, there's good bright light out there. And I got like 6 of them up out there. Well, he puts up a real big one on his gate. No one ever uses that gate. I don't know where the tenants gain access to their place at. Maybe they cut through his backyard or something, but no one ever uses that gate. Maybe once a year ago, a little Asian girl went through there. And I wasn't able to talk her into coming into my house, so I had to let her go. So that's the only time I ever saw her. No, I was nice to her. I'm friendly to everybody that cuts through there if I see them, if they're obviously not out there causing trouble. But Scooby races down to this monstrous side of this house that the only people can really see it are me and the people that live in this building. You can't really see the side of it much from the street. There's no curb appeal to the side of the house whatsoever. I don't know why the fuck he's over here so much. But my dog darts down to that side of the building, and I'll be goddamn if Scooby didn't raise his leg and pee on the side of this big 4-story house. I don't know that's what he's doing because he's out of sight. He has a 26-foot leash, and he can run in a 52-foot circle if he wants. That's how he gets his exercise because I ain't walking him nowhere. So Scooby apparently has hiked his leg and peed on the wall. There have been complaints lodged before. Hey, can you make sure your dogs don't pee on my wall because it smells like pee? Really? Okay. Well,
Who'd have thought?
rains here every fucking day. Dogs pee on my wall too. I don't smell no fucking pee. There must be 7 to 10 dogs a day that pee on the wall of the building I live in. I don't smell no fucking pee. But okay, all right. It rains every other day in Louisville, seemingly sometimes, and especially this time of year. So you think it would? Well, so here we go. This is where the shit starts, because now I'm really going to be late for my own show. And he says, "Kenny," and I can't see him because he's behind his gate. And I lean up. I said, "Yes, your dog just peed on my wall." This guy is 5'5", 155 if he weighs a fucking ounce. I'm 6'1", 320, 330 on a good day. And I'm thinking, I might be 63 and on disability, but this little motherfucker does not want to come to my porch. I'm telling you that right now. So I said, okay, sorry about that. And I sat back down. Like, of all the shit people are getting shot for these days, now we're going to take on a guy twice our size because the dog pissed on us. Well, you know, you turn around someone's driveway, you get shot. You open somebody's door to movie theater, you get shot. You have a ball of an 8-year-old roll into a yard, you get shot. You shoot your AK, you shoot your AR-15 in a neighbor's yard, and you're stupid enough to go over there and complain about it. Your whole family gets shot.
Yeah. That was.
You go to the wrong house to pick up your brother, you get shot. I mean, you're getting shot over the stupidest of shit these days.
Yeah.
So with all that going on recently, he decides he wants to fuck with me. He doesn't know if I'm a gun owner or not. He decides he wants to fuck with me because my 130-pound dog peed on his wall. And so I sat back down. Kenny, what the fuck? I get back up. I said, yes. He says, are we going to work on this? Are we going to work on your dog not peeing on my wall? He's got a light strapped to his head, like he's been out there all day waiting for my dog.
Like a miner's head.
I'm sorry for anybody who may or may not be watching this
That's
show.
hilarious.
But I've been wanting to vent about this. And this story's going on. You're getting an exclusive here. It's going on my show next for about 20, 30 minutes. So I said, we're going to work on it. I said, we're going to do our best. I sit back down. Kenny, motherfucker. So I get up a third time. I lean off my porch where I can see him. Kenny, are we going to work on this or are you dismissing me? I'm 63. He's 38. And I'm going, am I dismissed? What the fuck? Nobody has ever said something like, are you dismissing me? So my screen went black. It's been doing that recently. I don't know why. I can't figure it. You're back now. So if I lose vision of you for a bit, you'll know what's going on. Okay. And it keeps popping back in. I don't know what's caught. It just started a couple of days ago. So I said, no, I am. His name is Joshua. Joshua,
not Josh.
And just picture a 5'5", 155-pound fuck named Joshua, and there you go, white guy. You got it. You all pictured him perfectly.
Oh yeah.
And so I said, no, I am not dismissing you. We, meaning me, we're going to work on it, and I will do my very best to make sure my dog does not pee on that great big ass wall, which dogs are known to do. I will work on it. I sat back down. I'm thinking, okay, we're done. And me and this guy are probably not going to get along very good from now on. Nope, we get a fourth. Kenny! I'm going, you got to be fucking me. So I get back up and lean out. I said, yes, I feel that you're dismissing me.
Oh my God.
I said, let me make this as clear as I fucking can. So now I don't normally use fuck with the neighbors, but now they want to see what I'm really about. No, let me make this as fucking clear as I fucking can. No, we aren't going to work on this. I'm going to work on this. You ain't got fucking jack shit to do with it. You stand behind your gate with your little light on your head. And you keep, and by the way, he put ring camera notices in his windows on this side of the building that nobody sees but me and a couple of my neighbors to let me know that he's recording everything that's going on out there. So I noticed these ring camera logos up 3 or 4 days ago previously. And I'm going, this motherfucker is recording to see what dogs are going in his little flower garden that has no flowers. It's a flower garden of dirt. There's no flowers. There's some strange Easter-looking weeds that grow. That's it. That's all it's there. And let's face it, every dog in this neighborhood has been shitting and pissing over there for 7 years because the previous owners didn't give a fuck. We never saw them on this side of the building. Why would they come over here? They have a big, beautiful front part of their home. Lovely, beautiful home. Why the fuck would you come over here where there's nothing but ivy and ugliness, especially if I'm on the porch? So for 7 years, the dogs thought they could go there, and they were shitting in vines. No one ever saw it, and we'd still go over there and clean it up anyway. Maybe not the second it happened, but the end of that day or the next day, we'd go over there and clean it up, just as what courtesy people do. I've got rakes, little doggy rakes and shovels out there for me. And my upstairs neighbor, who's the sweetest guy in the world, he comes down because he didn't want to hear the little fuck over there complaining. So when he comes home from work every day, he grabs my shovel and goes through the yard, make sure there's nothing out there, and just does it. And for doing that, I let him use my $120 a month, 1 gig Wi-Fi from Spectrum. That's my trade-off for him. Here, let me do something for you. You don't have Wi-Fi, right? No, well, you do now. So I let him use my. So he does that for me, and we give each other food from time to time. If he makes a great fish, he'll bring me some down. I give him whatever extras of shit I got down here. To say he doesn't have a car, so to keep him from walking a 3-mile round trip to 7-Eleven, I let him get sodas down here and shit like that. Don't even charge him, just give them to him. And but our other neighbor is not quite that type of guy. So me and T upstairs, who happens to be black, he also happens to be a felon who got out of prison a year ago for unlawfully owning a gun. He served 2 years in prison. But the nicest, sweetest guy in the world. So I trust the convicted felon with my life and wouldn't shake hands with this guy across the goddamn street. Whitey McWhite. So in case Joshua doesn't do it for you. So I explained to him in as many F words as I can use. No, I'm going to do every fucking thing I can to make sure my fucking dog doesn't piss on your fucking wall anymore past this day. I said, but let me add to this. I'm 63 years old. I'm on permanent disability, and it's not easy for me to control the 3 dogs I have. One of them weighing 135 pounds. One of them weighing 125 pounds. The other one weighs about 65 pounds. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Right.
But let me explain to you, I will fucking do my best. Do you fucking understand me? And no, I'm not fucking dismissing you. So he's never seen this side of me before. I have no idea if he ever sees my podcast. I hope he's watching today, Whitey McWhite.
Join the ones and ones of our live. One dropped off again. So. But I will tell you that last show did.
Too many fucks, too many Whitey McWhites, too many.
Viewers the last time you were on, so I thank you for that. And,
yeah, so that was so. I wanted to actually broadcast this to 100 people that hate me. To see how many of those of you who hate me think it's a big deal that a dog pissed on a 4-story building that is 70 feet deep. Most of us don't live in a house that's 70 feet deep.
No.
It's a good NBA shot from one end of the house to the. It might be 90 feet. An NBA court's what, 96 feet?
Yeah.
It's a good NBA court width-wise. Pretty goddamn close. It's a big motherfucking house. The one I'm in is a big motherfucking house. How many of you, if you saw a dog, and just picture your own homes, your standard little 2-bedroom brick ranch or whatever it is you live in, and a dog peed on the side of it, not your front porch, not your back porch, not your front sidewalk, not your back sidewalk, but the side of your house, to where maybe 10 people a week see the side of this house, and that's the people that cut through here. How much of a shit would you give? And factor into that knowing what people get shot over these days.
Right.
That you would go out and confront the guy whose dog pissed on the side of your house.
Hell no.
Nope.
And I
Not
would
once.
people that hate me to honestly say, wow, Bolin, what a dick you are to let your big dog go over and pee on the side of that house. I would hope it would be under 10 of 100 people that hate me that would see that as a problem.
Right.
But no, and the first thing he told me when he moved in, he says, hey, my name's Joshua. So nice to meet you. I just want to introduce myself and let you know I want to be a good neighbor. I want to be a friendly. Well, isn't that nice? Now this is about 1.5 years ago. And I was like, well, as the man, I'll do everything I can, because there's an imaginary line between my yard and his yard. And it's an imaginary line. Well, guess what? The dogs don't have that great of imagination. So sometimes they go a little bit over onto his side and shit. Many times, more often than not, they poop on my side. And then at the end of the day, either me or my neighbor go out into the yard, clean up the mess, and dump it in an appropriate area. Not his front yard. That might change. That might change. I actually got suggestions. Kenny, I'll go out there and scoop it all up and put it on his porch if he wants something to think about. No, let's not go there. It would be funny. It'd be funny, and I'd love some video of it if you do it. But let's not do that. So wow. So I've never been that mad in my life, but the thing that made me the maddest is when I got 3 times, maybe 4. Are you dismissing me from a 30?
Oh yeah, that's annoying.
I could see Lolo not taking that shit too well.
Oh, shit.
And JJ Jackson, you better be glad you changed that top. You'd be looking like the headless horseman over there if you had to.
Right?
Gotta
Yes.
change that top. She has totally changed. The last time, she was kind of sitting in the wide open living room area or something like that. It looks like she's in witness protection program right now.
I am.
That's what
I
I'm
have
like.
to be.
Have me on your show. It's best to get some protection. Now 5 o'clock start times are not always the best for me on a weekend, especially if the weather's nice. It's tough to draw a house at this time of day on a Saturday. Now, when I do later shows, 9 or 10 o'clock on a Saturday, once it's dark, that's the reason I start my shows at 9:05 most of the time, because wherever you're at, it's probably dark, except California.
Yeah, I'm in
Arizona. And Arizona. So what's it look like at 6 o'clock your time there? Because 6:30 in Miami, even in summertime, is dark because they're so far east in Maine and up there. Yeah. Oh, in the summertime, even in Miami, it can be dark at 6:30, 6:45. Yeah. Philippines, year round, 6:30, it's pitch black.
Really?
People are amazed. I'll take a picture outside. It'll be like in Louisville, because we're at the very edge of the central and eastern time zone. You can take a picture in the summertime at 9:45 at night, and you will see the lightness of the sky at 9:45 at night. People in the Philippines go, "What? How the hell do y'all ever sleep?" Well, we don't go to bed at 9:45. And but no, they'll send me pictures over there 6 o'clock at night, and especially sometimes during their so-called winter, where it only goes up to 91 and lows of 77. Their wintertime over there, it's pitch black at 6 o'clock year round. There is no 9 o'clock sunsets over there.
Wow.
I'd say about 6:37, it gets dusky, and then it just drops. It's like dusky.
Well, even that's pretty early to get dark in the summertime.
Yeah. When the summertime is probably
7:30,
about 7:30 or 8. In Nebraska, it was like damn near 10
I love my 9:45 sunsets over here in Louisville. We went Central Time one year, and it got dark so goddamn early. 1 p.m. NFL kickoffs in the wintertime, it was dark. I mean, it was that bad. All right, it wasn't 1 o'clock. 5 o'clock though. 5 o'clock is dark when we run.
I gotta watch football at 10 a.m. if I want to catch it.
Well, Hawaii has to watch it at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's true.
No, 7 a.m. 5 hour difference. So if there's a noon pregame show, they're watching it at 7 in the morning.
Good Lord.
Oh, hell no.
I don't want to bang Jennifer Lopez at 7 in the morning. And I would all right, yeah, I would. So I lied again.
Who knows?
Yeah, there's an old saying, I don't want to do anything fun at 7 in the morning. I can see that. I think I can whip Ben Affleck's ass, to be honest with you. So.
A lot of us probably could.
What's that?
I said a lot of us probably could.
All right, well, I wasted 30 minutes on my personal problem. My dog peed on the neighbor's wall. What's going on with you? Well, I didn't shoot him, though. Got that going for me. I didn't shoot nobody.
That's a plus.
Yeah, that's and so far he hasn't shot me.
Good.
I got
Also a plus.
I don't know that he's a Republican, because I asked him he was asking me what the neighborhood was like. I said, well, we don't take too kindly to Trump supporters over here. And he looks at me and I said, what part are you with? He said, well, I'd really rather not answer that. I said, you also might want to move to another neighborhood if you are, because we don't take too kindly to those type of folks over here. Normally if you move into an all white neighborhood, well, if you're black, you don't want to move in this neighborhood. Over here, it's a Trump supporter. We don't want.
Well, that's probably why he's so nitpicky.
Yeah, I found out my best friend in high school told me, we had dinner the other night, and he told me one of the things that have pulled us together. He says, now my dad wasn't the leader of the KKK like yours was, but he was a racist motherfucker. And he said, me and you raised out in Oldham County, where we didn't have 5 black people in our entire school of 900 people, turned out the way we did. And so many of the classmates we had are still racist fucks today that were racist in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s that are still that way today. He says, how the fuck did you and I turn out the way we did? I said, I just learned how to judge people, and I said, I told somebody, I said, what race are you, Kenny? I hear you talk about being Cherokee and one quarter Cherokee and one quarter German, and you said you don't know what the other half is. What race do you think you are? I said, the only one that matters, the fucking human race. I said, it's like when people go to the border, those illegals. No, they're not illegal. No, if I go to the Philippines just because I ain't got proper documentation, I'm not illegal. I'm still human. If you fuck with me over there, hopefully you'll still treat me like a human. Right. You know, and that's what and I also got on a lot of people. I got a lot of famous wrestling friends that are awfully concerned about the border. And Fox News got caught showing the other day. They were showing pictures of just look to be hundreds of thousands of people in line waiting to get in. Right. And they got called out because it turned out it was a picture from the Trump era when they were about to announce the COVID restrictions, and they were lining up to get in to beat that deadline. They were acting like that line was there now. Now I saw 3 drone shots today, 3 or 4 drone shots, to where there might have been maybe 1,000 people. I doubt it was even that many. And of course you go on Fox News and all day long they're telling you there's millions. There could be 11 million. 11 million people coming. No, there might be a few thousand all up and down from San Diego to Amarillo, not Amarillo, but to what's the main El Paso, and a few other cities in Texas. There might have been a few thousand all told. Just but the Fox is trying to make you think there's millions. And I told my famous wrestling friend the other day, I said, all but by dumb fucking luck are we here. Put yourself in their shoes. That's what I always try to do when I try to judge a situation and judge them for what they've done or might do. Put myself in their shoes. When the guy was at the airport years ago, this was probably the 70s or 80s, early 80s. A guy went to an airport when he found out his son was kidnapped by his karate instructor, and the karate instructor was raping his 13-year-old boy.
God. Oh my God.
The father of that boy went to the airport, acted like he was on the phone. He was in a disguise. And when the FBI
saw that video,
you remember that? And yes, the FBI, and what did that guy do to the man that was raping his kid? He didn't wait for a court hearing. He didn't wait for
turn around and shot him.
Shot him point blank in the head. And so, oh my God, what have you done? And I'll never forget that video as long as I live.
Oh yeah.
And then there's some of those that want to criticize that man. But if a karate instructor kidnapped my 13-year-old boy, and I don't know that I wouldn't have been motivated to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm as anti-violent and as anti-gun as you get because, and another asshole that was on my show the other day, not on my show, but in the chat room, Kenny, it's not guns that kill people. It's people using guns. So, well, there you go. We agree on that. Right. People using the guns that you said, no, the guns are the problem because if he had a butter knife instead of the gun, he's going to do a lot less fucking damage.
Right.
Well, I have a lot of friends who their dogs have shot them before because
there have been dogs who have shot humans because the gun was in the house. It ain't guns that kill people. Nope, your dog, if he had a butter knife, you'd be all right.
Right.
You'd be pulling it out of his mouth and putting some butter on some toast is what you'd be doing. But no, now you're dead. Now you don't have any balls. Now your leg has got a bullet in it. Bad dog. How dare you go out and buy that gun at a gun shop? Pass the
background check. And it just amazes me that the whole hopes and prayers that still.
Oh man, I get so
out of the damn Republican
every time I hear that. I mean, I try to say I ain't got nothing against religious people, but every day, new hopes about. Well, this isn't the time. They've been saying that for the last 15, 20 years. This isn't the time. Right. Let's not make this guy. And we had another shooting in Dallas, Texas today. Did you hear why?
No.
Because the girl went to Colorado to get an abortion.
Yes, I do.
And he appeared to be foreign. He looked like he might be of south of the border descent. I don't want to pin down where, and I think even had a Mexican type name. But so now he'll be another one that got across the border and killed somebody. But he did it because he had easy access to a gun in Texas and Dallas, Texas. This is the second shooting in Dallas this week. Right. But now he shot his girlfriend in the head because she went to Colorado and because he had been beating her. She didn't want to be with him anymore. So she went to Colorado to abort his baby because you can't do it in Texas. There was a healthy expense to have to go to Colorado to have an abortion from a person you didn't want to be with. So when she gets back, and he had violated like several court orders to stay away from her, went over there, shot her in the head, and then when he saw her laying in the ground, shot her several more times.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm sure he'll plead. I'm sure he'll plead
pro-life crowd right there.
Oh, the pro-life crowd. Yeah, the pro-lifes. Yeah, we're all
until the
about
fetus is born, and then fuck that fetus.
Oh, and if I hear any more about these dumb fucking Republicans going on these shows and screaming to the top of their lungs that what's the big one they're doing now? It's they're yanking babies out at 9 months and killing them.
Mm-hmm.
Find me the one time. Find me the one fucking time that it's 6.
That is
let's go with 4.
No, that one gets
5,
me a
6,
little
7,
bit.
8 or 9 months. Find me anybody that has done that.
Right.
To where the baby wasn't already dead. I'm not going to say that there hasn't been a time that at 9 months the baby was dead. Well, why are you going to put the mother through that?
Right.
No, stillborn is different, right? Yeah.
That's entirely different. That's a whole nother, but they don't even want to grant you exceptions for that. And now they're sending women into parking lots to wait for them to be listed critical enough to come in and get help. Well, you're still too healthy right now. We can't help you. But the baby's dead. Well, no, I'm sorry. And this has happened a few times recently to where the women have been sent to the parking lot to wait till they're officially, because the doctors don't want to get sued. And these are your pro-lifers that kill them all. And I wish like I said, I try to put myself in other people's shoes. I cannot figure out why it is that that men in general, and especially old white men, think they have the reason or right to determine what goes on with a woman's body. And I heard a congressman the other day, the only person that has any business about this shit is me and my doctor. The rest of you in here, keep the fuck out of it.
Yep.
And it was a congressman
like Missouri, where the women have to wear sleeves because I guess arms, get the old men erect or some shit. I don't know.
No, wait a minute. What? This is the one I hadn't heard.
Missouri State, their Senate and Congress, the women have to cover their arms, so they have to wear a blazer or a long.
In the Senate. Well, yes. Yep. I would show up as I am now in drag and see how that. What you gonna do, bitch? Not a goddamn thing. That's exactly what I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, my haters like to say I look like a lesbian. Okay, what does a lesbian look like? Kenny looks like a drag queen. I said, are y'all trying to tell me how pretty I am? That I'm so gorgeous as a man or a woman that I turn you on? Is that I got a lot of that on the Mantel show. Kenny looks like a drag queen. All right.
That's always the insult people try to lob at me. Oh, you look gay, and this. Do you think that's an insult?
Well, that was 70s insults in high school. That was the number one thing that would trigger anybody into a fight. You're gay. You look gay, and I wouldn't play along with it. Well, thank you.
Yep.
And then try to kill. My son actually went to a school once to where it was very anti-gay, very anti-trans, very anti-anything. I mean, it was just a white boy run school. My son went from Atherton, which was a very liberal school. And he transfers over there. And even in high school, Christopher's he's 6 foot tall, 230 pounds. Most of these little punk ass kids are 5'9", 150, give or take. So Christopher tried to look as gay as he could, and he'd go to school. He'd put on a little makeup. He dyed his hair purple. he would speak in that mannerism. And then one guy approached him, seemed to have a problem with it. Chris pinned him up against the locker, put his hand over his mouth, and kissed him. And he tongue down my throat. I was just trying to be friendly. Chris made people believe that the anti-gay guy tried to stick his tongue down Chris's throat. The thing he ever did was he would look for people to think he was gay because he knew damn well wasn't nobody gonna whip him. He was already a black belt in Taekwondo. He had been trained by Brock Lesnar, Sly Turkey, Shelton Benjamin, Mike Mondo. I mean, he'd been trained by the best down here. He wasn't working under these jack fucks. And every day I'd hear about another fight or near fight that he would get into. And there just wasn't anybody in that school that was in his league. And he stood up for gay people or people that were suspected to be gay. Cause hell, you didn't want to announce it openly because the school would fuck with you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
So, I think we had one person in our school that we thought might have been one or two. I think there was a guy named Rusty and another one named Frank. And people, and Frank sat at the table with all girls. And I was like, well, fuck, good old Frank. Frank might be working everybody.
Right?
He's got 7 girls at his table and all of them are hot. I'm going to go hang out with Frank. Frank's got all the women.
Yep.
You know, I had a lot of friends.
He is gay,
And,
and he don't want nothing to do with them. So somebody over there that would like to explore this market should be sitting at the table.
I have a lot of friends from high school that were.
No, you're lying already. You know a lot of people lying.
People I knew in high school that let me sit at the table with them. A lot of those were super anti-gay, like almost violently. And once we graduated,
What was your graduation year? Mine was 79. You can imagine, and in the country, so you can imagine how anti-gay that school was.
Yeah, it was 96.
Okay, all right.
But it was
long enough that you think people would have evolved a little bit.
Yeah.
But now those people came out real gay. It's like they unscrewed the closet door and just kicked it off the hinges. I've seen some of them that have like
that's 17 years after me. I could see that. Yeah.
One actually looks like Sonny Kiss.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Sonny's not hiding anything. Sonny's not hiding
not
anything.
at all. Matter of fact, I don't know if I should be confused or aroused half the time he comes out to the ring.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Sorry, sorry, ladies.
I don't know who Sonny Kiss is. Gotta look that up.
Look
up Sonny Kiss, and you will see exactly what he's talking about. Sonny's not hiding his preferences.
No,
at all.
Has a great
like Kenny Omega. Kenny's bisexual, and not a lot of people in America know that, but it's well known in Japan. His Japanese partner over there is his partner, and there's so many people in America don't know that. And Jimmy's always giving him shit for being bisexual and calling him twinkle toes and all that shit.
Is that where that comes from?
Yeah. So Jimmy's wife is bisexual.
Oh yeah.
So it's okay for her to be bisexual, but not for Kenny Omega.
Right.
And Kenny does not identify as gay. He identifies as bisexual, and his loving partner is Japanese, who he's worked with for many years in Japan. Can't think of his name, but there's documentaries about it. About the love affair between these two and how sometimes they work against each other. And but you can look it up. Chris sent me videos of the documentary, and Chris is a huge fan of Kenny Omega. So when Jimmy calls him Twinkle, he said he does realize Omega could snap him in two.
Oh, yeah.
I said, well, name me a human being and they can snap Jimmy in two. Just name a human. Anybody on this panel, my money's on you. You're gonna. I don't have to know which one of you. You're going to be the most
angry individual I've ever seen in my life. But damn, does he get some views, huh?
Yeah, he does get some views. Well, it's like Trump. There's a certain amount of people that to where Trump is saying the shit they wish they were bold enough to say without a fake account.
Right.
Oh, I get so much shit from and people that criticize my looks that have a J as a logo or whatever they've got on their YouTube account, and if they do have a picture, you know it's not them, or
right.
It's private, or a car or an anime picture or something. So all these people that want to criticize your looks hide their own.
Oh yeah,
and they want to call you fat or probably bigger than you are. I actually have traced some accounts and know who the people are. And one of the guys that wants to call me fat outweighs me by over 200 pounds.
Good.
But because he hides his picture, he doesn't think anybody knows who he is. Well, I'll just try to make him feel bad, because that's what people are going to do to me. Yeah. So for whatever that matters, how much somebody weighs, like most people, like at one point I weighed 589 pounds. Like that was my choice. I had congestive heart failure, and I could have eaten a little better if I could afford it. But I couldn't afford protein shakes and nothing but chicken and beef or whatever all day. Yeah. I ate what I could afford, which did not, which is a shame, because in the Philippines, you don't see a lot of fat people. There's some, and sometimes it's genetic, and sometimes no matter what they eat, that's how they're going to be. I've got a friend going through shit right now that hardly eats at all, and he gains weight every month. Oh, wow. Just because of some genetic imbalance that he recently suffered through a spider bite.
Oh, wow.
And he can gain 20 pounds in a month, and he's eating one meal a day if he's lucky, because he knows he has to. He's not even hungry. It's something that happened through a spider bite.
Wow.
And I forgot what this thing is called, but it's through a chemical imbalance in the brain that has nothing to do. But people want to make fun of you, like you choose to be that big.
Right.
Well, you should eat better and work out more. Well, sometimes they can't afford to eat any better. I was in that boat. I ate what the fuck I could afford. Carbs are cheap. Carbs are cheap. Protein is not.
I brought that up
Right.
several times. That to be,
Yeah.
it's been like the grass-fed beef and the
Yeah.
chicken and the shrimp and all that
Oh,
are so
I see these grain-fed eggs,
yeah,
and I have yet to determine the difference between these expensive eggs that are $15 a dozen, as opposed to the old 69-cent eggs I used to get at Aldi. Though they're now $1.39, but still.
Right.
Even the steaks, I can't tell a difference because
You know, in all honesty, I can't either. You get them, Choco. You tell that little bitch. You tell her. Get on them, honey.
But yeah, you can buy a pack of Twinkies for like 25 cents or everything.
Used to.
Yeah.
I was accused of having my briefcase that I carried on the show. So they said it was full of Twinkies. I said, I wish. Motherfucker was full of Twinkies. I'd be eating during the matches.
Well, there's a lot of, I know you've told the story billions of times, but there's a lot of people on my feed that
don't exaggerate. I've told it trillions of times.
What happened with you and Cornette?
I just told it on Dutch's show 2 weeks ago.
And we'll talk about Dutch too in a little bit.
Yeah. Primarily, there's two straws that broke the camel's back is that Brian Last Place had been recruiting me to bring the Bolin Alley to his network because I used to have falling out with co-host all the time, just over the stupidest of shit. Especially if they said anything racist, if they, and I don't think I had any Trump supporters on my show, so I didn't have it, but one of them got mad because I didn't let him do the Anthony Scaramucci show with me. Well, we only had Anthony committed for 45 minutes. And we thought between me, my daughter-in-law, Maya, and Chris, that was a pretty loaded show as it was. We did not need an additional person eating into our question time because we had plenty of our own. And so we did not let him do that show. He lost his fucking mind because he wanted to be a part of that show. Well, the show's called The Bolin Alley. Nobody, not one fucking person on planet Earth was tuning in to see him. He had his own podcast and his show. I went through and looked at his history of views, and no offense to those that get that, because when you're starting out, but this guy's been doing podcasting a long fucking time. 5 views, 3 views, no views, and you just go through, and you wouldn't find anything over 5 views if I wasn't on it. Now, when I was on it, we'd average 1,000 views or so, whatever the fuck it was. Some would do more, some like. But if he was the only one on, he was a single digit guy every goddamn week. But this is the guy who thinks that he has now deserved time with Anthony Scaramucci, and when it's this first time on our show. And we're only getting 45 minutes, or so we thought. He ended up staying much longer. But so I had to get rid of him for that. He was a guy that lived in Ohio, probably a Trump supporter. And maybe a guy in Ohio that ain't. That's not easy. John Kasich, a Republican, is not a Trump supporter. So it was a long drought that I hadn't had a host. So Brian, knowing that I've been doing Cornette shows for years and that the ratings are always great, as a matter of fact, still to this day, I am 4 of the top 5 most viewed shows over there. The only person that beat me was Steve Austin. I'll take that. I beat Jim Ross. I beat Jim Ross's views.
Did you?
So, but it was all due to the chemistry that Jimmy and I had,
right? Much
like the chemistry that Dutch Mantell and I have. Mm-hmm. So I do one show with him, and it goes all right. But now they're telling me who I can have on the show, who I can't. And the only one I conceded to is I said, okay, I won't have Russo on, knowing how Jimmy feels about him. But do remember, this is the Bolin Alley. This isn't the Cornette show. This is the Brian Last show. That's the only one you're getting. Anyone else on my show is my fucking call. You have no say in it. You have no say in the content or anything. You want to co-host it, fine. If not, I'll move on. So we do show number 2, and my kids despise him with a passion. And they both work for law offices at this time. And they're hearing Brian brag about he lives in New York and that he's worked for Sony and he was a big executive with them and all this shit. Well, they work in a law office, so they do some research. He does not live in New York. He lives in New Jersey. Shame. And he was not a big, he might have worked for Sony, but whatever he wasn't a big decision-making executive. That was far from the goddamn truth. Choco, please. Work with me. Because I am. I could be louder. And so they start dropping all this shit on him on the show, and they just start calling him out for lie after lie after lie. And he was fucking furious because it's a live show and there wasn't shit he could do about it. And so Cornette calls me that night and he says, yeah, man, says Brian is really upset at your kids. I said, no shit. Said he probably is. I said he shouldn't be such a fucking liar. He said, well, Brian says that your kids are killing the ratings and they probably shouldn't be on the show anymore. I said, is that what he says? I said, well, Jimmy, number one, there aren't no ratings. I've only done 2 shows. I said, any ratings there are is increased because I'm bringing an audience that was not there before. I said, I remember Russo's Republican rednecks wanted me off the show because I was saying all the shit they didn't want to hear that they had never heard before. And at the end of the month, Russo said, well, Kenny, you're not going anywhere because you have raised our ratings 27%. I said, that's pretty dramatic for one guy with all the goddamn clowns you got over here. He says, no, you ain't going anywhere. You ain't going anywhere, bro. He says, you're staying here. I said, well, that's up to you. Anytime y'all don't want me, you just say the word. I said, I'll go elsewhere. So now Brian is claiming, and we don't even have any numbers. We don't know what we're doing on the show because we haven't seen any yet. So his excuse, his kids are killing the ratings. Well, turned out not to be the case. And so Jimmy's telling me the kids have to go. I said, well, number one, you don't tell me what I have on my show. You know why? Because I don't tell you what you have on yours. I said, if Brian has a problem co-hosting the show when they're on, tell him to lay the fuck out. I said, if he doesn't want me on the network, I said, you know what? Enough of this arguing about this shit. Fuck him. I quit. I said, and this was a Friday afternoon. I quit. Tell him to shove his fucking show and his fucking network up his ass. And I said, as a matter of fact, I ain't doing your show anymore either, as long as he's a part of it. I said, if he can push buttons from the background, I said, because no one's tuning in to hear him anyway. They're tuning in to hear me and you. So if he's going to be a part of it, I'm not going to be. So you mean to tell me you're going to quit doing my show all over this shit? I said, you goddamn right. If he's going to be a part of it, fuck him. So it gets into a loud screaming match. Well, I can scream and yell just as loud as the next guy, which normally Jimmy and I do not do. And I hung up on him. So Monday comes and he says, so have you made a decision? I said, I made my fucking decision Friday. I told you I quit. You gave me 3 days to think about it. I told you I didn't need 3 days. So he gets word to Brian. So Brian posted, and I knew what the little motherfucker was going to do, that we have taken Kenny Bolin off the network. He's not a good fit for us. We've taken him off, but only I had posted 13 minutes earlier that I had quit, that I no longer wanted anything to do. So he's posted 13 minutes after I posted that I had quit. I said, you can't fire a guy that's already quit, you douchebag. I said, make it more official. I said, unless Cornette wants to fucking lie about it. Cornette knows I quit Friday. I said, he asked me to spend 3 days to think about it. I told him I didn't need 3 fucking days. So I added to the tweet or whatever it was at Twitter. I said, so not only did I post that I quit 13 minutes before you posted you fired me, I quit Friday. And ask Jimmy on your show, hey, did Kenny quit Friday? And let's see how big a fucking liar Jimmy is. So they didn't even bother to ask him the question. So he was hoping that fans would believe him. And some did. You know, it's just like with Trump. Oh, yeah. There's people who think Trump didn't rape anybody or sexually assault anybody, even though there's 26, there's 26 accounts in the books, that all are willing to testify under oath. Well, guess who didn't testify under oath? Well, Brian Last wasn't going to testify under oath, and neither was fucking Jimmy, because they knew how that shit would go. So, but we got through that, believe it or not. We got through that. The heat was with Brian. Jimmy and I were getting through. And then Jimmy calls me one morning when I'm doing Russo's show, and he keeps calling. He's called like 3 or 4 times, and I got my landline. I don't know how well you can hear it. Let me turn the volume up. So you hear my dial tone there. That's my landline. It's right here by me. Stays on my desk because that's what I do my work on. My hotel booking and everything is on my landline. So the phone keeps ringing because I have to keep it on in case a hotel calls. And it's ringing like 3 or 4 times, and he keeps calling back. I said, God damn it, Vince, I got to take this call. So I answer the phone. I said, hey, Jim, I'm doing a podcast right now. Don't say anything. I said, I'm doing a podcast right now. I will call you as soon as I'm done. Whose podcast you doing? I said, it don't matter. Don't worry about it. I said, but I'll call you back as soon as I'm done. Hey, Kenny, how many lies have you told today? I said, well, Jimmy, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I haven't told that many yet. Let me get my day going. Well, let me tell you what I've had to do to get out of doing shit I don't want to do. So he starts confessing to all the lies he's told to people to get out of doing shit he don't want to do. And he's telling them on the Vince Russo show.
Oh, God.
And Russo's sitting there looking at me like, oh my God. And he's salivating that Jimmy's voice is on his show. Now, remember, me and Russo record our shows.
Right.
These were not live shows. And Russo's salivating, and Jimmy will not stop talking. I said, well, Jimmy, I got to go. I said, I'm busy doing this show. Well, call me when you're done. I hang up, and I'm sick. I'm going, oh my fucking God. Russo's next word out of his mouth was, Kenny, was that Jimmy Cornette? I said, yeah. You mean to tell me, bro, that Jimmy Cornette was on the Vince Russo show? I said, yeah. He was. And he says, Kenny, are you okay? I said, no, that's it. I said, he's never going to speak to me again when he finds out he was on your show. Oh my God, Kenny. Oh my God. So Russo is ecstatic that Cornette is admitting to lying to people on his show. Then this is at 9:30 in the morning. We go on and do the show. I'm sick to my stomach because I know mine and Jimmy's friendship is over.
Right.
And so the show ends about 10:30. I get a call from Jimmy. He says, by the way, whose podcast were you doing? I said, Jimmy, I was doing a Russo show. You still doing podcast rep, motherfucker? I said, you know goddamn well I am. I quit your show. I got to make money somewhere. I said, by the way, he pays me 3 times more than you ever thought of fucking paying me. I said, yeah, no. I'm over there. I said, I can't hate everybody you fucking hate.
Right.
Wait a minute. You were doing a show with Vince Russo and I called you? I said, yeah, I told you to shut up and not
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me my voice was on the Vince Russo show? I said, yeah, it was. I said, I told you to shut up and you wouldn't listen. You motherfucker, goddamn you motherfucker. And he just goes off, calls me every goddamn name in the book. I said, I told you to shut up. You wouldn't listen. And you motherfucker. So he loses his fucking mind. He hangs up. Last time I ever heard from Jimmy. So Russo calls me about 2:30 in the afternoon. And he says, bro, does Jimmy realize whose show? I said, yeah, he knows. How did that go? I said, he called me every name in the book and hung up on me. Bro, man, I don't want to come between your and Jimmy's friendship. God damn it, bro. I'm not going to air that. He said, but I hope you don't mind that I air how sick you were when we realized who it was. I don't care. I said, you can air the goddamn segment, Vince. It's your show. I said, I told him not to talk. It was his fault. He goes, no, bro, I don't want to be the cause of your and Jimmy's friendship ending. No, I'm not going to air it. Whatever you want to do, Vince, I don't even care. I said, just do what you want. I said, it's your show. So now Vince has been big enough not to air it, even though it's ratings gold if he plays it.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in to hear me interview Kenny Bolin with Jim Cornette. That's all he had to type. It would have been the biggest, it would have been the most viewed show he ever aired. But he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And Jimmy and I have not spoke since that day. And that was over 5 years ago. Over 5 years ago. Yeah. All over his voice was on a show that never aired that part of it.
And that was 41-year friendship, wasn't it? 40 plus?
45 years, yeah. 45 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've known him since I was 14, and I'm 63 now.
Jesus.
Wow.
This goes to show you anybody can flip that switch in your ass at any time.
It can end well when you're him. Yeah. Because look at all the people that no longer speak to him. Jim Ross. Jerry Jarrett told me he had not spoke to Cornette. And Jerry Jarrett, who broke him in the business. Jarrett said he didn't speak to him anymore. Jim Ross doesn't speak to him anymore. Chris Jericho, who Jimmy gave a job to in Smoky Mountain Road, does not speak to him anymore.
I know that name.
Yeah,
you might. Chris God damn it. Of course, Santino Marella, who he slapped because he knew Santino couldn't hit him back. Not Seth Meyers, that's somebody else. Seth Rollins. They don't speak anymore. They were dear friends for a long time. They don't speak because Jimmy insulted his wife for getting pregnant. Oh, wow. Said that how stupid it was for her to get pregnant. I got to get me an on-air button. I haven't done that yet. I got to get the on-air.
Amazon, $19.99.
I don't know where I'm going to hang it. Maybe over one cow. Raise the camera up a little bit.
Put it around his neck while he runs around.
Have it double-sided so people outside my window know, shut the fuck up, I'm on the air.
There you go.
We can do that. Shut the fuck up, I'm on the air. That might be what my light says. Light up at night. Shut the fuck up, I'm on the air. I'm going to order it. You order that for me.
You can get it on Etsy, I'm sure. You can find somebody to make it. Oh, yeah. You can find anything on Etsy.
Etsy. I'm not familiar with that. Somebody send me a link to that. I need to see that.
Really?
What else we got? Because I've now took an hour to tell 2 stories.
Well, actually, one more story that I know the ladies would like. Tell us about the Brock Lesnar.
Yes, my penis is more than an inch. Barely. Barely.
So you made it above that micro part.
Who did we lose? We're missing somebody.
Lolo.
Lolo, yeah. Where'd Lolo?
She said she lost reception.
Yeah, her phone was a piece of shit. So
she lost interest is what she lost.
But tell the ladies the Brock Lesnar Stacy story.
You're just making me. Why don't we just play the Dutch Mantel show? Because this is what I told over there.
Oh, we'll get into Dutch in a bit.
Yeah, the Brock Lesnar Stacy story was Stacy and Dutch love this part because we went from one harmless story to Stacy got her vagina pierced. What? Now, how did we go from to Stacy got her? I said, that's what happened. That's what happened. And she was involved in a match that night with Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin. And there was a spot in the match that called for Brock to pick Stacy up over his head and throw her over the top rope to be caught by BJ Payne and Damian. And maybe Batista if he was out there. And so they were going to those three were going to catch him and or catch her. And Stacy says, well, I just got my vagina pierced today. So whatever you do, don't get anywhere near my vagina. Because it's going to hurt like hell. It's very sore. Whatever you do, don't get anywhere near my vagina. That was the last warning Brock Lesnar got. And my hand to whatever it is you pray to or believe in, this is a true story. As I saw it on television and as I heard what went down in the parking lot from those that were out there, even out of Jimmy's mouth. And I hear he's even tried to change the story out of what came out of his own mouth. So Brock picks her up. And he didn't go near her vagina. He went inside of it. What? Now, according to Stacy, I don't know if Brock ever admitted this or not. I never heard him deny it. That he put his finger in her vagina. And now whether it was accidental or on purpose, I don't know. I can't speak for Brock. But the story she told is that he put his finger in her vagina, then threw her over the top rope and was laughing about it. Thought it was funny. And he's laughing about it on the way back. Now, Stacy has a bit of a reputation. Doesn't really hide her sexual exploitations any. So he might have thought he was well within his right to do so. I don't know. We know all the hot tub stories and all that. So maybe he thought he was well within his rights to do that. I would like to think that if you're pick the booker's wife up over your head, you probably shouldn't put your finger there. Just you tell him, Choco. Choco's against that. No. Like that. Do not put. Leave one cow out of this. Hey, he's got it. One cow's got. You see her going from window to window to make sure it works.
Maybe around. Joshua's outside.
You tell. Could be Joshua. Choco. As long as we're not in the house, I don't give a shit. Yeah, she does. She. Get off the goddamn property. Get out of my city. She don't want you in the city. So she comes storming to the back. She tells Danny Davis and Jimmy what's happened. Jimmy, of course, is furious. Danny's not very happy. And the boys are telling Brock, Cornette is furious. Danny Davis is furious. You got to get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And Brock, well, I don't give a fuck. Well, give a fuck because Jimmy's. So Jimmy runs out to the parking lot, meets him out there, cussing him out for what he did, telling him that he's fired. And Brock, that's all right. Fuck it. That's all right. And but Brock isn't in no hurry to leave. And then as the argument goes on, Brock said, well, what are you going to do? You going to whip my ass? He says, no, I ain't going to whip your ass, you motherfucker. He says, I'm going to get my gun and shoot you in the goddamn kneecap, and let's see what a great wrestler you are then. So apparently it still took some guys to get Brock to get in his car and to leave, even after Jimmy was threatening to shoot him. Now, apparently one of the versions that Jimmy has put out, and this is what I heard, I didn't hear it out of his mouth, but somebody was trying to correct me in the chat room. Well, Kenny's got that story mixed up with somebody else. Brock didn't do that. I said, you're lying, motherfucker. I was there. I saw the goddamn thing happen. I said, Brock got fired that night. And but Jimmy apparently put the story out, or some of the fans were saying that Jimmy said that he threatened to shoot Brock in the head. I said, no, he didn't. I said, I heard the story straight out of Jimmy's mouth himself. Oh, the young man upstairs is outside cleaning up my yard. I can see it from the window. So they bark at the guy that cleans up their mess. That's rude.
That's
You shouldn't do that.
right.
Maybe
Thank
it's a
you,
huge
T.
thing.
Thank you. So I thank him, and Choco bark. Choco! Yeah, I thank him, and she no, get out of the goddamn yard. Leave my poop alone. Leave my poop alone. I'm going to poop there again tomorrow. So you're bad. Come here. Why you say? Come here. Apologize to her, but come here. Up. She knows she's in trouble. Come here. Up. Come on. Apologize to everybody. Why are you so bad?
Look at those eyes.
You bad.
You
The
cannot
shame.
accept that apology.
The shame. She's so ashamed. So he threatens to shoot him in the kneecap. Some people are saying that Jimmy said he's going to shoot him in the head. I said, well, number one, Jimmy knows shooting him in the kneecap, at least eventually he'll get out of prison.
Right.
Shoot him in the head. There is no getting out of prison. You're there. No, he did not shoot. He did not. I said, plus I heard the story out of Jimmy's mouth when he came back in. Fuck, he was so goddamn mad. I think he got his nose bleeding, because if Jimmy gets worked up, his nose starts bleeding. And so that was how that shit went. So yeah, that's and then so we thought we'd never see Brock again. We thought once Jim Ross and everybody, you get him, Scooby. We thought that once the word got out what Brock did, that he would be banished from WWE. That his career was over. Yeah. Barker, the guy that's bailing you out of living here, and so we thought we'd never see him again. 3 months later, Brock was the world heavyweight champion. So not only did they bring him in, give him a job, made him the world champion 3 months later. I said, well, they really showed him.
Oh, yeah.
He'd teach him a goddamn lesson. So, but yeah, I told both these stories on Dutch's show. So it might be 1 billion times I've told these stories.
Probably. The Dutchess show. It was I watched pretty much the whole thing, but it was hilarious to me that a Southern wrestler named Dirty Dutch,
Dutch.
You know, his crowd is going to be a bunch of Southern fans.
You would think. There's 86,000 subscribers over there.
Yeah. So I mean,
and 30. Last I saw, 35,000 of them saw my segment on Cornette, because a lot of those worship Jimmy. And some of them realize that I'm telling the truth, and there's some of them over there, like with Trump supporters. Well, he can't do any wrong. Jimmy's a genius. I said, well, name me a genius that lost every job he ever had and is not welcome back. And supposedly Jimmy has put out the word that he makes more money doing podcasting than he made in the wrestling business. Well, he claimed in the wrestling business, and Dennis Condrey said, no, that's not true. He claimed in the wrestling business he was making $440,000 a year at his heyday in WCW. Dennis said that's not true, because he negotiated the contract. So Jimmy's trying to make everybody believe that on his podcast channel that he's been demonetized on many times for content, gay slurs, homophobic slurs, trans slurs, racist slurs, Muslim slurs, that he's making $440,000 a year. Right. On his pot. Okay, sure you are. and I'm making $8 million a year. So yeah, sure you are. So I know his finances. I know what all he's got going on. And Jimmy, if AEW offered him a job tomorrow, he'd be there the day after.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, he's full of shit. Same with WWE. Somebody told me that they was at a personal appearance last weekend. And we hung out with Dennis Condrey and Stan. No, they said I hung out with the Midnight Express. I said, really? I said, is Jimmy doing personal appearances again? I said, who's ballsy enough to have him in to think that he won't get his ass whipped while he's there? And they said, oh, no, Jimmy wasn't there. It was Dennis and Stan. And I said, oh, Jimmy, the Midnight Express, and Jimmy wasn't there? I said, I guess he was busy. I said, I guess he couldn't make it. He had other shit going on. He was booked elsewhere. So, no,
so the Express doesn't talk to him anymore.
I don't know. Stan probably does, even though I talk to Stan's wife quite a bit. I don't talk so much to Stan, but his wife is Asian. I think she's Filipino. Oh. I know. As a matter of fact, I know she is, because his wife asked me to look up some members of her ancestry and to see if some people that I knew over there could find, I think it was her grandfather that she wanted me to look up. And so she's Filipino, sweet young lady. And I don't really talk so much to Stan, but Bobby Eaton and I were dear friends. He loved my son with a passion. But Bobby wouldn't really ever say anything negative about Jimmy. Jimmy really took care of Bobby, always made sure, he got to the places and towns he needed to go to, and tried to help him manage his money a little bit. And Dennis was his own guy. And there was a time I thought there might be a glitch in the Cornette Dennis Condrey thing, but right now I don't know. It could be one way or the other. And let's face it, these guys are from the Deep South, and many of the Memphis territory wrestlers, and I'll tell you right now, many of them got a lot of racism in their blood. Many of them that I admired, that I cared a lot about. Yep. And my son said, I think the reason that you and Dutch are so close, even though politically you guys don't really line up, is that Dutch and yourself do not align yourself with the people that got involved in the Me Too movement, the racist bullshit, the taking advantage of underage girls and being proud of it, putting notches in your belts. You and Dutch refused to be a part of that. Yeah. So when Cornette was being named in the Me Too movement, countless others, even I think Jerry Lawler even got named in it.
Oh, I would imagine.
Jerry don't talk to me much anymore. I think he really holds a political grudge against how badly I hate Trump. Jerry used to post pictures of him with Trump. Jerry was at a Trump rally and was in kind of like the background to be seen that Jerry was there. They wanted to know that Jerry Lawler supported him. And Jerry said he got a lot of hate mail out of that. Really? Memphis, Tennessee, that's 80% black, and they you think they're going to not have a problem with you supporting Donald Trump? Right. And he ran for mayor there.
Yeah, I saw that.
And did not do very well. The more he ran, the further in the pack he fell. Mm-hmm. You're running in Memphis. It's 80% black, if not higher. And they're going to vote for a guy that supports Donald Trump.
Right.
Yeah, I don't, no matter how much they love you on wrestling television, and so did I don't think I want you to be my lead politician if this is the guy you back.
Right.
Yeah. But it did make me end my friendship with him. Right. I write Jerry once or twice a week just to see him read it and not say anything back. Because he won't block me for some reason. They said on Twitter he muted me because he got sick of my tweets. And one of the fans said, yeah, he needs to cut that shit out about Trump or I'm going to mute him. Oh, well, that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt. Now, block me if you want to make a statement. Block me. What I do. And I've never muted anybody in my life. If you're getting muted, you're getting blocked.
Right.
Because if I mute you, I don't want to hear from you anymore.
So yeah, I just want the whole spirit off my page.
It is a shame that Jerry and I don't speak anymore because there's so much shit that we do align on. Mm-hmm. We both love sports, baseball, basketball, football. Our wrestling mentality is very similar, but all because of how I feel about Trump. And if he wants to say otherwise, I'm going to say, well, prove me wrong. Right. Because only when you found out how badly I hated Trump did our relationship go away.
Yeah.
Me and Jimmy perfectly line up politically, sort of. But he acts more like Trump than Trump does.
Yeah, exactly.
Little baby, can't take criticism, thinks he's a genius, appeals only to his base. Everyone else hates his fucking guts. And the majority of the country, and that's why Jimmy will never, ever do a live show like we do. Right. Because he don't want to hear the criticism. So what do you do?
Well, he's not so good at the live debating, is he?
No.
Yeah,
no.
That's what I figured.
Well, not without using shit that everyone's heard. He's a great reciter. And and I think I even once said he's a masturbator, but maybe not a master debater.
Aren't we all?
Oh, I might be getting sued for that one too, Stephen P. Did you call Jimmy a masturbator? Prove me wrong.
Ron Simmons broke off on his own, and I think Devon had the Reverend gimmick.
Yeah.
And first thing Ron said, so you don't masturbate no more. Well, I do.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah, it was. God, that had to be what 2000.
Yeah, I worked with Ron and Bradshaw when they were down here in OVW for a little bit, and Ron was always a pleasure. He was such a fun guy.
He's just a grown ass man.
Like he's grown ass man. I to this day there are people that even at 63 on disability, bring it on, motherfucker. Ron Simmons ain't one of them.
Yeah.
Ron got a problem with me. I know to move to the next town.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck there.
I remember even Mark Henry saying, you know how when you're with another guy, you kind of look at him to size him up if something goes down.
Yeah, in case something goes. Oh, I do it all the time. I did it. I went down and applied for, because of my age and being on disability, I'm eligible for electric bill assistance. And I'm looking in the back behind the glass to see who all I got to deal with. And there's 3 or 4 beautiful young ladies there. One of them was 40 and looked 27. Christopher's dad, Black Don't Cry. I said, not on that girl. Because when she said I'm 40, and me and Chris just looked at each other, because Chris normally guesses their age is better than I do. I'm always erring on the side of caution, and will guess them way lower. And I looked at her, and I'm seeing 26, 27. She says 40. I look at Chris, and even Chris going, fuck. He's goddamn man. I said, Chris, you look young for your age. I said, this lady's got. He's yep, she's got me beat. And then he says, Black Don't Cry. I said, not in this case, it ain't. Not in this case. And but there's a bit, but when he saw me looking back there, I was admiring how beautiful her and a couple of the other girls were. And he says, Dad, what are you looking at? I said, did you see that young lady? And that young lady, well, shit. I got put over to Messenger. Let's get the there we go, back to StreamYard. And so he thought that I was size. There was a big guy back there. He had to be 6'4", 390 if he's an ounce. And I am known for when I go to a restaurant, I'll look at Chris Tapman. I said, that motherfucker don't want none of me. And he might be a bit, but I judge them by the size of their legs and their ass. If they got tiny legs and a little ass, I said, they ain't got a chance.
If you got
an
ass,
I call it Negan ass. For those of you that watch The Walking Dead, Walking Dead, Negan needs that bat with me, because that ass is not going to take me down. But I will take him down. So I look at this guy in the back. I said, I don't know, Chris. I said, I don't, because what I say, if he and I get into a 3-point stance, he's fucked. That's because Jimmy called it the 3 steps of doom. Because he would even tell the boys in the back, he said, I know you think you're going to fuck with Bolin, but if he gets 3 steps on you, you're going through a wall. And that was when I weighed like 550. But he called it the 3 steps of doom. So when I go to a restaurant, if I see a big guy who's as big or me or even dramatically bigger, I will size them up by the size of their legs and the size of their ass, going, no, he ain't got a chance. He ain't got a chance. And, the guy in the back with the government electric bill assistance yesterday, he might, well, plus he's fucking 30 years younger than me too. I said, well, I might not fare too well in this one. I know who I can take and who I can't. It's like you said, Mark Henry and Ron, sometimes you got to size everybody up. Well, in case anything goes south here, who's with me and who will get me?
He said what wound up happening was Ron cut him off because he saw what he was doing. He's like, what you looking at me like that for, boy? I
can see that as well. I can see that as well.
Oh, man. I forgot what I was going to bring up here.
Okay, question, guys. Since we're talking about wrestling, but not so, it's kind of on. Have you seen the movie Knock at the Cabin?
Oh my fucking God! Yes, I did.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh
is
my
that
fucking God!
Is that the Dave Bautista?
That's Bautista.
Yes. That's Leviathan from Ohio Valley Wrestling.
You managed.
Oh, I really like him.
That is the only person. That's the only person that Sin managed that made it to the WWE permanently. He's the only one.
Sin,
I've got a list a fucking mile long, but that was the only one that Sin managed that made it. You can't name anybody else. And but no, that's Dave Bautista. And he left here a very hated man because he didn't know much when he got to the WWE. And they would get in the shit. And we'd sent about 30 some odd up. Fuck, 20 of them were my guys, and Danny had sent about 15 baby faces up. So Leviathan gets there, and he just doesn't know anything because he was not what you call a good student, and he was always sick and never wanted to do practice and shit like that. He claimed he was sick because Jimmy made him shave his head for the Leviathan gimmick. I said, well, wouldn't 80% of the NBA always be sick if having a bald head? If having a bald head was the reason? I said, I don't think that's
all the time, damn it.
And then Dave thought I was hitting on his wife one day because I made a joke with him. His first show he did with us. I think I can't remember if I told this story or not on Dutch's show, but I've told it before. But Batista had a young girlfriend. I think her name was Angie, and cute little brunette girl, and didn't know either one of them from fucking Adam. So me and John Cena and Rico and maybe one other wrestler were talking about going to see the Cincinnati Reds. They all knew I was a big baseball fan. And I think we had Deanna Kane here at that time, who was a Philadelphia Philly fan. So we were talking about going to Cincinnati to see the Reds versus Philly, so Deanna could see her hometown team. And then me and Cena and Rico were going to go with her. And so Dave Batista, it's his first day. We're at St. Therese Gymnasium, a little church gym that's 5 miles from my door if it's an inch. Dave is standing over with Angie by the car, and he comes over. Hey, Kenny, did I hear you guys talking about going to see the Cincinnati Reds? I said, yeah. I said, I think we're going to plan a trip up here this weekend. Would you mind if I go along? And I look at him. I look over at Angie. I said, well, Dave, I said, I think the car is going to be a little snug as it is. I said, I think we got room for little Angie to go with us if she'd like. My big ass hitting Dave Batista, jack to the fucking world. Going to be a WWE star, whether he wants to be or not, just based upon his fucking look. And he's I think he's half Filipino, if I remember correctly.
Greek and Filipino.
So I look over at Angie and I'm going, yeah. So she smiles and kind of half-ass thinks it's funny. Dave is not smiling a bit. And I said, well, let's see what the car is looking like, because I'm going up here in a Lincoln Town car, and it's already going to be a little snug with what we got going. I'm looking at throwing Batista's big ass in there and thinking, man, it's going to be an uncomfortable ride for everybody in the back seat. Because Cena or Rico is going to be in the front seat, and then the other three got who knows. So I'm in the car getting ready to leave, and there's a knock on my window. Wasn't a knock at the cabin, but it should have been, because apparently this was a sign of things to come. It wasn't a knock on the cabin. It was a knock on my window. And it's Dave Batista, just like in the movie, with about the same fucking attitude. Knocks on the window. I roll the window. I said, yes. He says, Kenny, do you mind if I have a word with you for a minute? And I said, yeah, sure. And I keep sitting there in private. I said, boys, I'll be back. So Cena and Rico and whoever else is with us is in the car, maybe my son. Get out of the car, step to the front of it. I said, what's up? He says, Kenny, this might get me some heat with Cornette. He said, you and Cornette are pretty tight. I said, well, yeah, we've been friends 45 years, but say what you got to say. I just want to let you know that I don't really appreciate you hitting on my wife, and I'm going to ask you not to do that again. I said, hitting on your wife? I said, Dave, I was making a joke. I said, to think that girl would pick me over you. I think. But I tell you what, and I tapped Dave on the shoulder. I said, I tell you what, Dave, you will never, ever have to fucking worry about me hitting on your girlfriend again. I promise you. All right, we good? All right. So he still ain't cracking a smile. I get in the car. The boys say, what was that about? I said, Dave told me never to hit on his girlfriend again. Cena and Rico, are you fucking me? But what? That motherfucker he can't take a goddamn joke? Apparently not. I said, boys, I will never speak to that motherfucker again. I will never, even if I'm working with him, I will never speak to him again, if that's his level of a sense of humor. So months later, it's now called We're Feuding with the Disciples of Sin. Rico and Cena are now feuding with the Disciples of Sin. They think we're going to be the baby faces, that Sin and her guys are such heels that they're going to pick us. I said, it ain't going to go that way. And it did not. 80-90% of the building hated us, and they loved Sin and Batista. They actually turned Batista babyface doing this shit, working against us. So the spot called for me to hit Batista in the back of the head with a briefcase. I tell Jimmy, I said, you know the fucking heat we got. He fucking hates my guts. He thinks I hit on his wife. And, of course, you remember Brock Lesnar thought I hit on his wife. Brock Lesnar and Batista have to worry about me taking their girlfriends away.
Right.
Okay. All right.
You are that sexy, man.
My penis is apparently a little bigger than an inch now that that's about all the extra I'd need, you steroid-taking fucks. So there's a jab I didn't expect to come out today. So the spot calls for me to hit him. He says, Kenny, are you going to hit him with because if you wanted to lay somebody out, you hit them with the edge of the briefcase.
Right.
Because it's going to hurt like a fuck, and it's probably going to draw blood. I said, no, the fucker will live through it, and I'll never see the end of blood. No. I'm just going to hit him as hard as I can, because that's what the spot requires for. But no, I'm not going to. I think Jimmy was giving me the opportunity to level up with him. I said, it ain't going to be me. Mark Henry can hit him with it if he wants, but it ain't gonna be me. So I hit him with the briefcase, and everything went fine. And politically, Dave might be more left than I am. And that's hard.
Yeah, he definitely
that's hard to do. So I'd love to have him on the show, and I'd love to recap our differences, because that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Is that he didn't like me hitting on Angie, and him and Angie broke up, and he ended up with Sable. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is he married now?
I think they're married now. Yeah, I think they're married. But I have said this, and as you know, I managed Cena. I've managed a few of them that have Randy Orton. I've managed several that have done movies. Batista is the best actor of the bunch.
Oh, he is.
And he was marvelous in Knock at the Cabin. He
was.
Also great in Knives Out. The what's the Onion movie? Knives Out, something Onion.
Glass Onion or something.
The Glass Onion.
He is marvelous in that movie. He's got range, man. The fucker can act. And he's done a couple of commercials. He's done a couple of commercials he does a good job in. One of them I didn't know was him, because they make him look like a 50, 60-year-old man.
Oh,
looks older than me. What's that?
Where he's in the boat.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was him either.
I realized it was him for a while. I was like, God damn, it's fucking Batista.
Yeah.
And what boat?
But I'll be the first to admit, he's the best actor of them all. And Knock at the Cabin is on. As a matter of fact, I watched a trifecta on Peacock, because now that the writer strike's going on, all my late night comedies are off, and some of the shows that I've been waiting on are not coming on. I watched Knock at the Cabin. I watched the other one I loved is the one with the Asian girl that got all the great accolades, that kind of a horror movie. No, this is a fourth movie. I'm trying to name the three I watched. Knock at the Cabin. Isn't that a fucking pickle? Just saw him a few days ago. They were all Peacock movies. Huh. Knock at the Cabin I saved for the main event. The other two I watched first, and actually enjoyed all three of them.
Well, damn it. You need to figure out which ones they were.
Peacock top choices and see if we can figure out, just start naming top choices on Peacock. And how can I not remember? Because the other two are real good too. Knock the Cabin was my favorite. The Asian loaded cast movie that did so great at the Oscars is the other one I'm talking about. It wasn't one of the three I just watched, but I watched it a while back. Can't think of the name of that movie either. It's got a.
Yeah, he has a lot of range, and it seems like he picks the right scripts and the right directors. Because
Glass Onion I saw recently, loved it, real good. Made me go back and watch the one that Don Johnson was in, the first one.
Oh, I love
Knives Out. Knives Out was very, very good. What was my goddamn trifecta? Shit.
Let's see.
Yeah, bring up, because they want to know and I want to know. Lolo's signal's still hanging in there, so she wants to know.
Yeah,
Shelly's looking right now.
Lolo, what's your background? What's your backdrop you got going on there today?
What's my backdrop I got going on? My little curtain tapestry thing here.
There you go. There you go. I got sheets that look similar to that.
No, it's not a sheet. It's like a curtain.
Sure you didn't take my sheets when you left the house over here? You sure about that? Just checking.
What about that?
I hadn't seen those sheets in a while.
Now you know where they went.
See that he was on too.
It wouldn't be Guardians of the Galaxy, would it? That's too obvious.
That's too obvious.
Broke ass Barkley just claims he sent me a little something in the donation bin. I haven't looked yet.
Broke ass Barkley.
Jelly Bean wrote me. We made it possible for her to go visit some family that could see her baby.
Awesome.
5 a.m. Okay, there we go.
Which that's what I was going to bring up. It is actually Asian Awareness Month.
What's that?
It's actually Asian Awareness Month.
Is it really? Well, I aware the Asians, so there we go.
So let's try to get a little bit of money. Tell us about your the Philippines. And
well, have you gone on Peacock so I can name these 3 movies I saw the other day?
I'm here. Did you watch Cocaine Bear?
Oh, Cocaine Bear. That's the other one. Oh my God. What
about
fucking movie?
Megan?
That's the 3. That's the 3. Megan was fucking great. Oh my God, I love
really.
Megan. I love Megan. Did you see it?
No,
Well, if you don't like creepy ass movies to where a doll might kill you, you might not want to watch it.
See, I've got too many dolls in my house because I've got girls.
You might not
So
want to watch it.
I don't think I'm going to watch that.
If all those dolls turn heel on you, you're fucked. I'll just tell you.
Right. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you found, because those are the three. Megan, I watched Megan first, fucking loved it. Then I watched Cocaine Bear. The ridiculousness of this movie is just,
right.
It's so fucking ridiculous. And Mags from Justified plays a forest ranger in it. If any of you have ever watched Justified, Mags was the one that was kind of running the drug train down in Harlan, Kentucky. And she's in it, plays a park ranger. But it's just the most ridiculous fucking movie.
It is.
My daughter saw it.
I loved Cocaine Bear. So that was my trifecta. I did Megan first. I did them all in 2 days. I did Megan first, Cocaine Bear, saved the main event, Knock at the Cabin for last. And who can think of the Asian movie that just kicked ass?
Is it the one about crazy rich Asians or something like that?
No, I've seen that one, but that was a long time ago. This movie just won all the Oscar awards. All the check out top Oscar winners for 2022, 2023.
Joy Luck Club.
Nope.
Life of Pi.
Nope.
Mm.
It just kicked ass.
Everywhere?
Just won all the. What's that?
Everything Everywhere.
That's the one.
Yeah.
See why I couldn't think
Really?
Everything Everywhere is fucking great, and
I've heard. I gotta see that.
Oh, the
That's
martial arts shit, and it is just off the goddamn charts.
Really?
And she was also in Crouching Tiger, the main star of the movie.
Oh yeah,
She was in Crouching Tiger, and I didn't think it would be a movie I would like, and then I saw a trailer for it on the Colbert Show because of the young girl that's in it. She plays some wicked shit, but she's not in it as much as I'd like. It mainly focuses on the Crouching Tiger lady. But I saw a scene with her that confronts a cop in a hallway that was awesome. I was like, I got to see this shit based on that trailer. And I could have took more of her in the movie, but her and her mother do not get along well in the movie. So I strongly advise anybody to watch any of those 4 or 5 movies we just named.
Okay.
And Knives Out with Batista. Batista is very, very good in that. So he's one of the few OVW guys that does not follow me back on Twitter, and he should, because I guarantee you I have raised more money and done more for Filipinos even than he has. Mm-hmm. That would be my guess. So he should appreciate me for that, and he should appreciate our political beliefs. And I never took his girlfriend from him. He got rid of her. He should appreciate me for that, because I could have had her. She's all mine if I wanted her at night.
Evidently.
Could have been me and her at the Reds game. I'd have left Cena and Rico behind and just been me and Angie at the ball game.
It's funny how
he apparently sent me a thank you letter for doing that.
So many of those alpha males are so
wow. Yeah. I was never the jealous type. I remember my ex-wife went out with my friend David Zonka, and they went shopping at the mall. And I already told him I didn't give a shit. And they was out 2 or 3 hours later than whatever. And David Zonka was the fucking Magnum PI of guys. I mean, he was just the big thick mustache and the hair parted on the side, shorter than me, but a little corporate looking guy. And I mean, you think he could walk into any club and he's going to walk out with pretty much whoever he wants. He was that good looking of a guy. And I had my friend say, well, Kenny, aren't you jealous of your wife being out with him? I said, no, number one, I trust him. Number two, if they want to fuck each other, go at it. You know, if she wants him more than she wants me, I will move on to the next lady very easily. I determined in
always been my fault.
Well, damn.
1984, when me and Judy Koval broke up, it destroyed me, broke my fucking heart. I went down to the Ohio River crying my fucking eyes out, just totally destroyed. And oh my God, all because her family wanted me to convert from what they thought I was Baptist. I was not. I was atheist then as well. But if I had to be labeled with something, my family was Baptist. So that's what people labeled me with.
Down from the South.
But down from the South. So she wanted me to convert. Her parents did. To convert from Baptist to Catholic before we could get married. We're engaged. We've bought furniture. We bought a console color TV from Tice Furniture. We're about to get married. And then I said, I don't want to be no fake ass Catholic. I said, I don't want to be a goddamn fake ass Baptist. I said, honey, you know me. I said, I'm an atheist. Well, I've never told them you're an atheist. They'd really hate that. I said, well, I'm not trying to impress them.
Right.
I said, you need to know me for what I am. I said, I know you're very Catholic. I don't have a problem with it. As long as you believe your shit, I don't care. You know, if you're a fake ass, you say one thing and do another. I got a serious problem with that. Most religious people today say one thing, do exactly the opposite, but God will forgive me. All right, fuck you.
Oh, okay.
You know, I think Ricky Gervais had the best answer.
Ricky Gervais is the best. Man. His shit makes sense.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people love him, but his shit makes sense.
Well, the way he said it was, there's thousands.
It's not comedy. He's talking facts, but tell me what you liked.
Well, he said there's thousands of gods that we don't believe in, and he said, I just don't believe in one more.
Yeah,
He's like, so why is it a big deal? You know, and
we teach our kids so easily, so quickly, that the Easter Bunny's not real.
Right.
Santa's not real. Tooth Fairy ain't real. Is there another one?
I was surprised.
Halloween's a big deal.
Santa's not real.
So all those aren't real. Yeah, I'm sorry to break that Santa shit to you. But this guy in his book, and if you're a believer, hey man, I get it. You know, whatever gets you through your day. So, but we teach you not to believe all this shit, but all these stories about these mythical monsters and the parting of the seas and turning water to wine and burning bushes. So we believe all that, but we can't believe this other shit. And one is even more. So if y'all hang on, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Does everybody here know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
Oh yeah,
one of the smartest fucking men that ever lived. And
I like him.
Neil deGrasse Tyson says the reason that Republicans cater to the evangelical community is that they've already been preconditioned to believe the unbelievable. And that made sense because it is all unbelievable. Because we've never seen any of this shit since. It happened way back when, and the Bible's been rewritten and reconstructed and reinterpreted God knows how many times. And my God's real and your God is not, you know, and however many gods there are and however many religions there are. And the Baptists think the Catholics are full of shit. Catholics think the Baptists are full of shit. The Muslims think we're all full of shit. And then all the other various. So yours is real, but mine's not.
Exactly.
And I think mine is the most real of all. Mine has bared the most proof that, well, none of this shit's fucking happened since. We're only going on to the ninth version of this goddamn book. Sorry about the goddamn book. But, you know, I'm going to need a little bit more. Yeah, we all got here somehow. I don't know how. There's the Big Bang Theory. There's the hi, meow, meow. Chairman Meow Meow coming over here trying to work on it. But she's not shy either. She digs her paws into my thigh saying, pick me up or get me some cottage cheese. She loves cottage cheese.
Yeah, we have one of those too.
Really?
So when I go to the kitchen, it's mandatory that I got to give her cottage cheese. So
I've never tried that with our cat.
Oh, try your cat on cottage cheese. She won't eat rice. She won't eat chicken noodle soup. So she's not even crazy about spaghetti. But boy, you give her cottage cheese and she goes apeshit. Now she loves her cottage cheese, and so do I. I have cottage cheese and banana every day
I love cottage cheese and banana.
Oh, you do the same thing?
Oh yeah, I love it.
My high school friend was over here yesterday to pick up some paperwork he left in my car, and he sees that I bought a couple of containers of cottage cheese, the big ones, like 3 pounds each.
Yeah.
And he says, and I go through 6 to 9 pounds of cottage cheese in a 2-week period easily.
Wow.
And he says, Kenny, do you like pepper on your cottage cheese? I said, fuck no.
Yes.
Who on planet Earth? And I said, no. I said, I put cottage cheese and banana together. And when I eat I slice it up, put it into my cottage cheese. And when I've eaten all the banana, I'm done eating cottage cheese. And I have a little bit of cottage cheese with each banana bite. You never put pepper on it? I said, I don't know why anybody would. I said, but I don't really add salt or pepper to much of anything.
Oh, I do.
Especially salt. Yeah,
not salt. I do a lot of seasonings, but I take it easy with salt.
Yeah, well, I have to. I have no choice.
Yeah, I put a tiny bit of salt in it just so I can taste it, not, overwhelmingly, but yeah, I like to flavor it with salt and pepper.
What is it that I really like pepper on? I'm trying to think. Mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
A fair amount of, I don't really put much of any salt. Normally never put salt on mashed potatoes. But if I got pepper handy, but I don't even have any in the house. I think my son took it all.
Oh, see, that's how I am with salt. I don't have any salt in the house, but I have lots of pepper.
I don't either now because I had one big box of it here that my son left because we had multiple boxes. They really love salt. My neighbor come down. He says, "Kenny, can I borrow a pinch of salt?" I said, "Yeah, give me a minute." I go by and I got a 32-ounce box of salt in the kitchen. I come out. I don't eat salt, so you might as well have it. Oh my God! And you thought I'd given him a new car. I'm very excited that he had the 32-ounce box of salt. And,
okay, hold on before I forget.
Yes.
Did you call your cat Sherman Meow Meow?
Chairman Meow Meow.
Chairman Meow Meow.
Chairman Meow
From
Meow.
Mike and Molly?
Nope.
Where did it come from?
There's Chairman Mao.
All the cats in this building had the names of great evil leaders. And Prince Charles still lives here to this day. Prince Charles, big fat cat, twice as big as Meow Meow. We had Baby Hitler, who was Siamese.
Oh my God!
Baby Hitler.
That's hilarious.
Baby Hitler ran away. He got out on the roof and ran away because he was not very well liked. And
Imagine that.
He loved his owner and he hated everybody else. So we had Baby Hitler, Prince Charles, and Chairman Meow Meow. And actually Chairman Meow. And then the cat was given to me when my son moved to Istanbul. So I inherited Chairman. And so Chairman hangs out under. It's a girl. So she hangs out under the bed for like 3 or 4 days, and I'm just not seeing this cat. So I'm feeding her water and food under the bed, and she'll come let me feed her, but she ain't coming out from under the bed. So I go to the bathroom one day, and then the bed's in plain sight. I go meow meow. Let me see if I can do it. Meow meow. Knock my autographed Pete Rose bat into the floor. I was going to pick her up and show her to you, but she looked. I tell you what she looks like. I got it right here. I keep her food in here because that's her. That is her. She looks just like. As a matter of fact, I tagged Meow Mix in a Twitter post, and I posted a picture of my cat, and they said, "Oh my God!" I said, "They said, what's that cat's name?" I said, "Chairman Meow Meow." So there is a picture. If you've ever seen pictures of Chairman Meow from China, where they put her in the hat that he wears, they put my cat in the hat. And they made my cat look like Chairman Meow. I'll send it to Coltrane after the show. I got to go through here and find it.
That's great.
That is great.
So I mainly just call her Meow Meow because that's what she answers to. Not so much Chairman, but if I go to the bathroom and I see her under the bed, meow, 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 and then she comes running. So if I go to the kitchen, she knows she's getting cottage cheese, so she races me in there. And she's got a laser light that comes on about every 30 minutes in the bedroom. And if the laser light ain't on when I come out of the bathroom, I have to turn it on for her. So she can chase the laser light for like she's done for the past year. And she's for 365 days catching it. But
she keeps trying. That's what matters.
The effort is put out. The effort is put out. So, so yeah, that's Chairman Meow Meow.
Okay.
Chairman Choco. Come here, Choco. Come here. And I call her, she's my shit bull. She's not a pit bull. She's a shit bull. Because she little shitty dog. She bad.
My baby is gone. She's in heat. And so I had Jen come and pick her up this morning. It was driving me nuts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, I haven't had to deal with that.
I've never had a girl dog. This is the first one. Well, that's not true. I had one, but she was fixed. And
he's the only one in the house that's not fixed, and he humps everything but me, thank God. Yeah. And he doesn't hump, and Choco's the only girl dog. He doesn't hump Choco. He humps Two Cow. Two Cow humps him. Right? Right. Don't look away. You know goddamn well you're guilty. You know you're guilty. You know I'm ratting you out. Are you a good boy? Can I have a kissy? Do I get a kissy today?
No, it's a baby. My dog's over here sleeping like a big old lazy lump.
Oh,
man.
Like she has sleep apnea. She's only 75 pounds.
He's a 125-pound little baby. Some neighbors were walking down the sidewalk today, and of course he wants to go after every walker that goes by. And he's in attack mode. He's going to kill them all. Of course, if he got there, they just pet him. But he's going to kill them all until he gets there. So the neighbors see him on his leash, and he's trying to get to him. And I said, Scooby, get your ass back here. She said, oh my God, the dog's name is Scooby, and look, he's even wearing a Scooby collar. She said, is that his real name? I said, yeah, Scooby's his name. She said, why'd you name him Scooby? I said, look at him. What else am I going to call him? He's Scooby. Scooby Doo. Scooby Deuce. Scooby Deuce is his official name.
That's cute.
Scooby Deuce. I was told not to name him Scooby Deuce because of what a deuce is. I said, well, he does that too. That's what he can do.
I give my animals long names and middle names and backstories and all that shit.
I have, let's see, in the history of dogs I've had since I moved out of my home, I think I know them all. I had Elsa. Elsa was my first dog that was given to me on a sales call when I was selling cookware back in 1984. Oh, wow. Big snowstorm. I had to bring Elsa home, little puppy, 6 weeks old. Aww. And I just loved the puppy, and the owners gave her to me on the sales call. So I made like $300 commissions on the sales call in 1984, and brought home a dog.
Yeah, the puppy.
A little white lab looking thing. Oh. And she was a lab mix, and we named her Elsa. My ex-wife named her. So after Elsa, we had Kahlua. Kahlua was a little cockapoo is what she was. So Kahlua was a little cockapoo. Now my sister named her. I didn't even know what a Kahlua was. So I inherited Kahlua when I moved into my apartment in 1990. I had Ziggy, who was an Australian Shepherd, black and white Aussie Shepherd. So I had Ziggy. Then I inherited Jackson. Jackson was abandoned in southern Indiana. He was tied to a tree. And people told my ex-wife about it and said, yeah, there's a dog. He's been chained to a tree for 3 days. We've been going over there feeding him, but it don't look like his owners are coming back. She says, do you know anybody who wants him? So my son calls me. He says, Dad, there's a black lab over here, and he looks like he's been abandoned. And I said, bring him on. So we got Jackson. And a few weeks later, my ex-wife got Moo Cow, Misty. Her name was Misty. She got so fat, we named her Moo Cow. And when she was every time I would go to visit Chris and my ex-wife, Misty wanted to come home with me. So finally, and she built a big fenced-in backyard, bought the dog a dog house and everything. But every time I go there, the dog would go crazy for me, could give less than a rat's ass about my ex-wife, and always wanted to go home with me. So about the 15th time I'd gone over there and the dog would beg to come home with me, she said, Kenny, do you want that dog? She said, she loves you way more than she loves us. I said, yeah, I'll take her. Jackson could use a friend. So I bring Misty home. So that was ended up becoming Moo Cow. Then we found next we found Choco. Choco was in an abandoned house and had been abused by its previous owners, and she'd been abandoned for quite a while. And then we found Two Cow, the one you saw earlier. He was abandoned under a truck when he was 4 months old. He's now he will be 10 in September. Yeah, he'll be 10 years old in September. And so that all my dogs are technically rescue dogs, other than the puppy that was given to me in 84. So that's my history of dogs and all their names. Guys, I hate to wrap you up and rush you, but we did do almost 2 hours.
Yes, we did.
Scooby's at the door and crying, and that means he got to go. So I can't delay him too long. You see him laying back here by my chair? Well, the door is just off to the right of him, and he's and he's telling me I got to go.
That's exactly what ours does.
But thank you guys for having me. If y'all want to do a little wrap up or post show, please do so. And let me know the next time y'all want to do one of these, and we'll get her done.
Sure. Okay. I got to tell you, the last time you got the show done, I got 81 viewers, which is about 4 times more than I normally get.
Really? Okay. Well, we'll promote this one as well and get the word out there. I don't know what we have to do to boost your live views. We average our live views hang between 30 and 50, but the night that I ratted Cornette out, we had 400 live views.
Oh my God.
When we told what we knew on Cornette when he was bad mouthing a girl that committed suicide, my son had enough. He said, I'll show that motherfucker. We had 400 live views that night. That was probably our record, like 440, something like that. So, but normally we average 30 to 50 live views, and we'll end up with 300 to 1,000. You just never know. Depends what you're talking about. But I've been shadow banned so bad due to all the shit I talk about. We used to get 5,000 views a week on any particular show. The Cornette debate has 52,000 views. You know how much money we've made off 52,000 views? $84.
Oh, wow.
The views. Google says that the average YouTuber can make $4 per 1,000 views. I'm good. Hey, fuck it. Who cares? You know? So I'm just going to keep doing what I do, please the audience that I want to please, talk about what I want to talk about. I ain't going to worry about every $4 per 1,000 because we make a lot more than that off donations. So once you have 1,000 subscribers, you can monetize and people donate for whatever cause you're raising money for, or if they just want to support your show. So,
well, so far I'm out there begging, so we'll see what happens.
But if I got 4 times the views, I'll take that as a hit. But here I have a combined 25 or 30,000 followers, but only 84 people watch the show.
Right.
I've got 25, 30,000 followers, and some months I'm lucky to get 500 to 1,000 of them to watch the show. Something ain't adding up.
Yeah, exactly.
Something ain't adding up. Either they're fucking us on the views, or the algorithms are set to fuck us, which they talk about on television all the time. But we do what we can, entertain who we can, and so be it from there. And I need to get my shut the fuck up, I'm on the air sign made. I got
Well, hey, go ahead and give us your closer, Kenny. Great to have you.
As a matter of fact, to see the Bolin Alley, just go to www.youtube.com/the Bolin, Bolin Alley, to see my shows. We're normally live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9:05. We do occasional weekend shows. This is my weekend show. I do not see myself doing one tonight or tomorrow, but who the fuck knows? Depends what mood I'm in. Most likely not. I had to dedicate all my time over here telling the same stories I told Dutch Mantel.
We appreciate you.
Not at all. And to reach me, if you search on the social media Starmaker Bolin, you will find me. Twitter is at Starmaker Bolin, Facebook /Starmaker Bolin, Instagram is Starmaker Bolin. So, and those are primarily the 3 I'm on. Okay. So if you need to find me, follow me, what have you, do that. And other than that, we'll see you guys the next time.
All right. We appreciate you.
Just kick me out. You all wrap up.
Way to go.
God damn you. That big fucking hurry to get rid of me. I started to say bye and just, fuck you, Bolin. You're
my finger slipped as usual.
So good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Good night. I got Rosie's coming over here now. She couldn't.
Rosie wants to. She's like, hey, if Dogs is gonna be on this damn show, then
I need to be in here.
Yeah.
She's losing her patience too. She's like, Ma, you're not paying attention to me.
That surprised me as much as we advertised. Like I saw 2 people pop on once, and then they did it again, and then I don't know if we're scaring people or what, but whatever the fuck. Watch the replay. Those of you watching the replay, thank you very much. So we're gonna get everybody's last word. So hang on, let me get you. How do I do the? Okay, there we go.
My final word is, I will say at the end of all of my lowdowns, only you can make you great. Don't hate, congratulate. Thank you and ciao for now.
Right, and whoops. JJ, I am not quick on this shit. There we go.
Thanks for watching, guys. Be a blessing. And if you can't be a blessing, don't block anybody else's. How about that?
You did it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, as always, our show is every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. We are live all the time. Y'all don't be watching the live part, but
but we're still gonna do it because fuck y'all.
We're gonna keep doing it whether you're there or not.
Right?
Yeah.
So those of you who are watching the replay, we thank you. Smash that subscribe button. I'm gonna show you what it look like. Hang on, just a minute. Hush up, y'all. Hang on. It's going to look like this, but it's going to be in the bottom corner. All you got to do is click that bad boy. Make sure you hit the bell for the notifications. That way you'll never be left out in the cold for awesome shows like this one was. Really, this one was really entertaining. And
it really was.
I'm trying to get my take two. That one was really entertaining.
I love him.
As the Audible shows, we are going to get back into that in the next couple of weeks. But also, we are going to get back into Oh Me Later. So those of you that remember that.
That can be fun.
Oh, that's going to be cool because we're going to be on here doing that shit instead of just hearing our voices. So I think when we go to some of those websites for comparison and stuff like that, it's going to make some people very uncomfortably happy.
The uncomfortable conversations.
Absolutely.
We're doing them every week, y'all.
Those are the fun. Yes. So every single week, show up Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here, either on youtube.com/@JadedZen. If you go to jadedzenentertainment.com, that will take you immediately to the live section of the YouTube. All of our Facebooks, as far as mine and Shelly's, are live streamed. Our Jaded Zen Entertainment Facebook is live streamed. Michelle's LinkedIn is also live streamed, as well as my Twitter with my, I don't know how many followers I had, 3 or 4. I figured somebody would stagger across it one time and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But anyway, this has been a fun show. This has been a fun week. We will see you all tomorrow. And as coined by Kenny on his show, thank you for joining the Cold Train.
I love it.
Good night.
Bye, guys.